Welcome to our deep dive today.
Hmm.
We're going to be looking at a paper all about the International SCN8A Alliance.
Oh, wow.
So this is a group of families and researchers that are really tackling this rare genetic epilepsy.
Okay.
And I think, for a lot of people, they hear genetic epilepsy and they're like, oh, that sounds complicated.
Yeah.
But we're going to break it all down and we'll uncover how this alliance has made some really remarkable strides in just a decade. So look at their unique strategies, their impact, and what we can all learn from their journey.
Yeah, that's a great overview.
Uh,
It's truly inspiring to see what they've accomplished in such a short time.
yeah, so for those of us who aren't geneticists, what exactly is SCN8A?
So imagine your brain as like a complex electrical circuit.
Okay.
For it to work correctly, all the electrical signals need to be carefully controlled. And SCN8A is a gene that provides instructions for making a protein that helps regulate these signals. So if there's a glitch in this gene, like a mutation, it can disrupt the signals, and then it leads to a whole range of neurological conditions, but most commonly epilepsy.
Ah, so it's like a faulty wire causing the whole system to misfire.
That's a great analogy.
Okay.
And to make things even more complex, there's like over 300 different mutations that have been identified in this single gene.
Oh, wow.
And each one can lead to like different characteristics and different responses to treatment.
300 variations.
Yeah,
That must make research incredibly challenging.
absolutely. It's like trying to solve 300 slightly different puzzles at the same time.
Oh, my goodness.
And that's exactly the challenge that the SCN8A Alliance took on.
So tell me, what were some of their key strategies? How do they even begin to tackle such a complex problem?
Well, one of their most impactful strategies was bringing everyone to the table, like literally. They host these scientific meetings and they invite researchers, clinicians, families, even pharmaceutical companies to collaborate. And their first meeting was held in 2015.
Wow.
Just 5 months after one of the founders received their child's SCN8A diagnosis. And this meeting actually led to the first consensus document on SCN8A research. And this really helped unify the field, and it kickstarted tons of research projects.
That's incredible. So early on, they recognized that collaboration was key.
Exactly. They understood that breaking down those silos and fostering open communication was super crucial for accelerating progress. They also realized that to make a real difference, they needed to focus on patient priorities. It wasn't just about publishing research papers, it was about improving the lives of individuals with SCN8A.
Right. It's easy to get lost in the weeds when dealing with this complex scientific research,
Mm.
but ultimately it's about making a tangible difference.
Yeah.
So how did they translate this focus on patients into action?
So they created the International SCN8A Registry.
Yeah.
It's like a treasure trove of information on hundreds of individuals with SCN8A. And they went beyond just collecting like basic data. They gathered detailed information about like the natural history of the disorder treatment responses and like even the everyday experiences of families.
Oh, wow.
And this has been so valuable for understanding the variety of forms of SCN8A and for designing targeted treatments.
So they were essentially building a comprehensive picture of the disorder, informed by the people living with it every day.
Precisely, and they made sure that all this data was accessible to researchers worldwide. They even helped pharmaceutical companies design more effective clinical trials.
That's amazing. I'm guessing this level of data sharing is pretty unusual in rare disease research.
You're right, they were pioneers in this regard, and this approach has paid off. It's helped accelerate research and bring us closer to effective treatments.
That's so fantastic.
Uh,
This is all so impressive. But they didn't stop there, did they? The paper also mentions that they formed the Epilepsies Action Network.
that's right, they recognize that to achieve meaningful progress, it takes a collective effort. So the EAN brings together advocacy groups from across the whole epilepsy community to push for increased research funding and to improve outcomes for all forms of epilepsy.
So they took their focus on collaboration to a whole new level,
Right.
working not just for SCN8A, but for the entire epilepsy community.
Exactly. They understood that a unified voice would be way more powerful in advocating for change. And it's been super effective. The EAN has played a key role in influencing national policy and raising awareness about the needs of people with epilepsy.
It's truly inspiring to see how they've expanded their reach and impact.
Hmm.
They really embody the idea of thinking big.
So far, we've talked about their emphasis on collaboration,
hmm
their patient-centric approach, and their work with the EAN. What else makes their approach unique?
Well, one of the most remarkable aspects is their commitment to including families like every step of the way.
Okay.
They've created all sorts of programs like Citizen Scientist, where families can learn about research findings and then share their own real-world experiences,
Wow.
which then helps researchers make new discoveries. They've truly embraced the power of patient and family voices. It's amazing to see them not just as recipients of care, but as active participants in the research process.
Hmm.
So in a sense, they've flipped the script on traditional research models.
Absolutely. They've shown that families can be such powerful partners in driving scientific progress.
This is all so fascinating. I'm eager to hear more about their work and the lessons they've learned along the way.
Me too. There's so much we can all learn from their journey. It's one thing to have a great strategy,
Mm-hmm.
but it's another thing to actually execute it
Mm-hmm.
effectively.
Yeah.
And the SCN8A Alliance, they've not only come up with these innovative approaches, but they've also learned valuable lessons along the way.
Okay, so what are some of these hard-won lessons?
Yeah.
I imagine there were bumps in the road, especially when dealing with something as complex as rare disease research.
Absolutely, there are challenges.
Yeah.
But they've been so open about sharing what they've learned, which is invaluable for other organizations looking to make a similar impact.
Yeah, that's so important.
One of the key lessons that they highlight is the importance of maintaining a laser focus on improving outcomes.
That sounds simple enough. But how do you actually do that in practice?
It's about constantly asking yourself, how will this initiative ultimately benefit individuals with SCN8A? So take their approach to the International SCN8A registry.
Good.
They didn't just settle for collecting basic data points, they meticulously gather information that could directly inform better care and treatments. And they were constantly evolving the registry to meet the needs of both the researchers and the families.
So it's about making sure every effort, every piece of data collected has a clear purpose, and it's contributing to the ultimate goal of improving lives.
Exactly. It's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day complexities of running an organization, but they've never lost sight of that bigger picture. And this unwavering commitment to outcomes has been a driving force behind so many of their collaborative efforts.
Can you give me an example?
Well, their work with the Epilepsies Action Network is a perfect example. They recognize that to achieve meaningful progress for the entire epilepsy community, it requires joining forces with other organizations. It wasn't just about SCN8A anymore.
Yeah.
It was about taking those learnings and then advocating for better outcomes for anyone facing similar challenges.
That's a powerful example of how their focus on outcomes extends beyond their immediate community. It's about driving systemic change that benefits a wider group of people. What other lessons have they highlighted as being critical to their success?
Another key lesson is the importance of being bold and thinking big. They haven't been afraid to push boundaries, challenge conventional wisdom, and then tackle these ambitious projects, even with limited resources.
I imagine that kind of boldness takes a certain level of confidence, especially when dealing with the uncertainties of scientific research.
It does. It requires a willingness to embrace risks and then learn from any setbacks.
Right.
So think back to their decision to launch the global SCN8A Leaders Alliance.
Oh.
This was a bold move to unite SCN8A organizations all around the world, but it was a gamble that paid off because it demonstrated the power of global collaboration.
And what about the development of a global consensus on SCN8A diagnosis and treatment? That was a massive undertaking.
Absolutely. It required immense dedication and then this belief that they could make a lasting impact. They brought together experts from all across the globe to establish these evidence-based guidelines, so ensuring that families and clinicians everywhere had access to the best possible information. That level of ambition is really remarkable.
You know, it strikes me that their journey is almost like a masterclass in effective patient advocacy. They've shown how a group of dedicated individuals can make a real difference, not just in their own lives, but for an entire community.
You're absolutely right, and they've been incredibly generous in sharing their experiences and then those lessons they've learned along the way.
So we've talked about their impressive accomplishments and the valuable lessons they've learned, but what about the future? Where do they go from here?
Well, they're certainly not slowing down. They have so many exciting initiatives on the horizon, all aimed at continuing their mission to improve the lives of those with SCN8A.
Okay, I'm all ears. What are some of their top priorities?
So first and foremost, they're focused on making sure that global consensus on SCN8A diagnosis and treatment reaches every corner of the world. So they're working to translate the guidelines into multiple languages and then disseminate them to clinicians and families globally. It's about ensuring that everyone has access to the latest evidence-based recommendations.
So it's not just about creating guidelines, it's about making them accessible and actionable for everyone.
Exactly. They're also working on the publication and dissemination of the global SCN8A research roadmap. And this roadmap, it was developed with leading researchers and families, and it outlines the most promising research areas for the future. So it's essentially a blueprint for accelerating progress towards effective treatments and ultimately a cure.
That sounds like a crucial step in guiding future research efforts. What are some of the specific research areas that they've identified as being high priority?
Well, they're tackling the problem from all angles, from basic science research to clinical trials. They want to delve deeper into the underlying mechanisms of SCN8A, identify potential drug targets, and then develop therapies that are tailored to all the different forms of the disorder. It's a comprehensive approach that is designed to maximize impact.
Wow, sounds like they're leaving no stone unturned. What else is on their agenda?
They're also planning to launch a prospective arm of the International SCN8A registry, and this will involve following a group of individuals with SCN8A over time to gather even more detailed data, like longitudinal data.
Okay.
And this will provide invaluable insights into the long-term effects of the disorder and then the effectiveness of all the different interventions.
Like they're constantly building upon their successes,
Yeah,
using each step forward to inform the next one.
precisely. They're also in the process of forming a global science advisory board. And this board is going to be comprised of leading experts in the field. And this board will provide strategic guidance on research priorities and all the funding decisions, ensuring that their resources are being used wisely and effectively.
So they're creating a structure to maintain their momentum
Yeah.
and ensure that they continue to make informed decisions.
Exactly. They're not just relying on passion and dedication.
Yeah.
Those are obviously crucial. They're also building this robust framework for long-term success.
It's really impressive how much they've accomplished in such a short time. It's a testament to their strategic thinking, their collaborative spirit, and their unwavering commitment to improving the lives of individuals with SCN8A.
It is, and it's a story that offers such valuable lessons for anyone working in the rare disease space, or frankly, anyone facing a seemingly insurmountable challenge. It's proof that with the right approach, even small groups can make a world of difference.
So what are some of the key takeaways you hope our listener will walk away with after this deep dive?
Well, I think the most important lesson is that even in the face of these seemingly insurmountable challenges, collective action can make a world of difference. The SCN8A Alliance demonstrates the power of uniting around a shared goal and then working together to achieve something that's bigger than ourselves.
It's a reminder that we don't have to just accept the status quo, that we can be agents of change even when starting from a place of vulnerability.
Absolutely. And they've also highlighted the importance of strategic thinking and having a clear vision. They didn't just react to the challenges that they faced.
Right.
They proactively developed this roadmap for success, outlining those key priorities and then relentlessly pursuing their goals.
It's such a valuable lesson for any organization, really. It's about having a plan and then executing it with focus and determination.
Another key takeaway is the power of collaboration. The SCN8A Alliance has been incredibly successful in bringing together diverse stakeholders, recognizing that no single entity has all the answers. They've embraced partnerships with researchers, clinicians, industry partners, and then, of course, families.
It's a reminder that we can achieve far more when we pool our knowledge, our resources, and our expertise.
And they've also underscored the importance of data sharing and open science. The International SCN8A registry is a testament to the power of making information freely accessible to researchers all over the world. And this approach has undoubtedly accelerated research and brought us closer to finding those effective treatments.
It's a powerful example of how collaboration and transparency can really drive progress.
And finally, I hope the listener is inspired by the SCN8A Alliance's unwavering commitment to patient-centered research. Every initiative, every decision is ultimately about improving the lives of individuals with SCN8A.
It's a reminder that research should ultimately serve the needs of those most affected by these conditions. So as we leave the listener with this incredible story of resilience, progress, and collaboration, what's one final thought that you'd like to impart?
Well, I think the SCNA Alliance's journey really offers this powerful message of hope. They've shown that even in the face of these rare and complex disorders, we can make a difference. By working together, embracing innovation, and then staying focused on those patient priorities, we can drive progress and create a brighter future for those impacted by these rare diseases.
It's a truly inspiring message, and one that I think resonates far beyond the realm of rare diseases. It's a reminder that we all have the potential to make a difference in the world, to leave it a little bit better than we found it. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We hope you found it informative and inspiring.